Greetings, gentlemen. It is I, Victor VonFrankenstein, the Grateful MGTOW, back again with more content as promised. Welcome. Let's get started. So we're going to give it here a couple of minutes, let some people join in. Good morning, good evening, Law and Cult. Glad to have you in the chat. Give it a couple of more minutes here, a couple seconds, whatever. We'll see who shows up. Yeah, it's about 3 a.m. here, 3:25 a.m. for me. So hope you're having a good afternoon, Lawan. How's the audio sounding? I know I was using a headset that was it was pretty crappy the last time. I'm just using the mic off of the phone right now. My phone is getting old. It's an S7 and it's taken quite a bit of damage over the years, so I definitely need to get a new phone, but you know, with the current insanity going on in the world, I think I'm gonna put that on hold just for a little bit. I really haven't been going anywhere. Been holed up in my house, just self-quarantining kind of deal. All right, good. I was hoping that this sounded better. I know it always gets some crackly sound in the very beginning there. Hopefully that clears up. Like I said, I'm going to try to get a new phone here soon. But we're just going to have to wait it out and see what all happens, gentlemen. So anyway, how's everybody doing out in the world? Seems like things are really ramping up in a lot of countries. If you're here in the United States, we can see the catastrophe that has been created because of this pandemic, this panicked state of most people. And there's definitely a lot of talk about a lot of different subjects. At this moment, it just seems arbitrary to me to see people continuing to make the same types of content that you know, they're trying to go about things like everything's normal, nothing to see here. And it's fine. I mean, it's good to see that everybody is still staying on their paths, still making content, still reaching out to each other, having conversations, and that goes for, you know, whatever content creator, political content creators, MGTOW content creators, gaming, comic book content creators. I watch all kinds of stuff, but with some of the things going on, I think people really believe that once this passes over, that things are going to just go back to normal. And I don't think things are going to go back to normal. I think that there are going to be some very drastic changes that are lasting. One of those being the trade that we have with China. Now, this is something that I remember discussing when I was in my teenage years. And for most people, the only thing that they cared about back in the late 90s, early 2000s, was the fact that they could buy all the products they want. Didn't care about where it was made, where it came from, none of that shit. They just cared that they were able to buy all of these different things and at very cheap prices. Not really realizing that most of these things were coming out of China and not looking at labels or reading tags. Not realizing that most of these things that people in our own countries, regardless of where you're at, can create these things, build these things, and sell them to their own people in their own countries. And we all know that manufacturing here in the United States left en masse somewhere around the late 70s, early 80s, when they started changing a lot of different laws, and we could see that Wall Street and people that just really focus on the greed. The only thing they cared about was making money, not realizing that they were collapsing their own manufacturing here in their own countries and relying on these foreign governments and foreign manufacturing companies to supply them with the things that they need, even though those things could have been created right here on our own soil and put people to work. And now, as we see that they solely focused on trying to make it so that this is a service-based industry, we can see how many of these people are going to be unemployed. And it's already happening. I remember talking to friends back in the day about this whole idea of China and our jobs leaving. And there was a lot of leftists that they would tend to argue, surprisingly, in favor sometimes of the fact that we were, allowing China to create products for us. And this probably went for people on all sides. They saw that, we were getting cheap products and whatever. One of those things that I remember being in Walmart. I came from a poor family, and back in the day, I remember my parents would shop at Walmart, and a lot of my clothes sometimes would come from Walmart. And I started looking at the tags on some of the clothing that came from good old Wally World. And one of them is on the screen right now. It's a brand that's called Faded Glory, as you guys can see. And that didn't sit well with me. That here's this company in China ran by the Walmart Corporation selling these goods in America to unwitting American citizens that mostly don't pay attention to things like tags and whatever. Just care about them cheap prices. But on some of these tags, there would be a tattered American flag. And then that name, Faded Glory. It's ironic. This level of irony is, it's profound. That we've now come to a point. Did the glory of America truly fade? I don't think it did. But in some ways, I think that it definitely has. And allowing these Chinese people to buy property in America, they're the number one people that come in and birth their children on our soil, these anchor babies. Now, I got no problem with certain types of immigration, people that truly want to move to other places and become citizens of that country. There's nothing wrong with that. And as Americans, we all understand this is it. This is the experimental melting pot. It's fine. People that want to move here and assimilate into the culture of America, in some aspects is fucking absolutely terrible, as we all understand. The thought culture and female empowerment, all that bullshit. All the shit that we all know. I mean, I don't know how many times it needs to be talked about. But we can see that we're reaping what we sow. And by allowing China to have this type of power in the world, it presents a certain problem. And, you know, it's strange that people are putting their faith into a communist country, an outright dictatorship that subjects their people to complete silence, censure. You know, China, they reported the other day that there were 0 new cases of this pandemic in their country. And I find that hard to believe. And anybody that would trust what China says, I think those people they're either just plain stupid or they're choosing to be ignorant, willfully blind to the truth. Now, China, we all understand. China is one of the number 1 polluters in the world. They subject their people to pretty much slave labor. They're a communist dictatorship, and yet we choose to continue business with these people. Now, how it is why that even occurs, why that was allowed to occur, why it is that we didn't just completely say, yeah, fuck you, China, we ain't dealing with you. I'm going to get to the chat a little bit. Lawin says the absence of knowledge, fear takes over, and with fear comes chaos. Oh, yep. Fear of the unknown will always breed chaos. And we're definitely seeing it right now. There are so many things happening. Collapse of the stock market, what's going on out in I guess the shopping world, whatever you'd want to call it. Sure, people fucking run into the stores and acting like maniacs. I've gone to 6 stores just to try to get some toilet paper. The last stream that I did, like I've said, I've prepped pretty damn good. I've prepped for a few years, and the one thing that of course, you know, it had to be the one thing that I was gonna need that I didn't really think about buying in bulk and keeping around was toilet paper. I think I'm down to my last fucking 3 or 4 rolls in the house, which I know I'm fucking stupid, but you just don't think about it. Food is more important. I have stockpiled food, ammunition, guns, all kinds of shit. Lighters, I don't know, things that you can trade, some Everclear. You just never know. Sorry, I had to get a stretch and a yawn in there. Like I said, it's 3:30 in the morning, so I'm kind of just waking up. This is my normal time lately. But to see all this shit going on, it really, I mean, I've been seeing military vehicles now. I drove 35 miles out of the city to see if I could go to a store, figuring that the countryside would be a little bit better prospects for me to find just some of those basic extra supplies that I didn't prepare and get before all this shit happened. I didn't think it was going to happen so fast. I really didn't. But as I was driving out into the countryside, I saw several military Humvees and a couple other, they're larger vehicles. I'm not sure what the hell they are or what they're called. Look like there's some kind of transport unit. I've also seen pictures of, them shipping these military Humvees on flatbeds. And just yesterday, I saw several military Humvees drive down my road. I've seen a few helicopters now pass by. Both of them were military medical helicopters. One of them flew right over the house the other day. And the other one, it was sometime right at the beginning of all this shit going on. That one was some type of black military helicopter that, yeah, I mean, it definitely is a little worrying, what's going on. Now, whether or not the numbers of this pandemic are accurate, or what's truly going to happen, whether there's going to be waves of this, or this is going to be an ongoing, I will say that it is going to have lasting impacts in a lot of aspects. When it comes to migration, when it comes to world trade. Now, this is something that not only the trade that we had with China when it comes to clothing and all of these different, products that China makes for us. Like, we should be able to make our own textiles and manufacture all of our own, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I understand world trade when it comes to, raw materials. I can see the necessity for that. There are some areas of the world they don't have the same types of raw materials. Food supplies, sure, I can see where that might be a necessary thing also. But everybody has that capability to manufacture whatever it is. It's just that people didn't want to do the work. And as we continued to deal with these foreign, imports and exports, I can see it just in my own home state, the invasive species that have come over from China. A majority of them coming from China. And just the most recent was the emerald ash borer beetle, which completely decimated all of the ash trees in my area. All of the ash trees on my property I had to cut down. They killed all of them off. The Chinese milfoil that has infected the lake systems here, the zebra mussels that infected Lake Michigan. I mean, it's countless. So for people to think that a virus or some type of bacteria or, some infectious pathogen wasn't going to make it over here at some point in time, well, you're willfully ignorant. Yeah, it's ramped up to a point that I don't know, what's the truth and what's going to be the truth. And there's a lot of conspiracy talk going on, whether or not this is, the end times. Goddamn earthquakes happening in Salt Lake City on the Wasatch Front. I was originally from Salt Lake City, and apparently there's some crazy shit going on up in Yellowstone. And that stuff, I'll give it. It's actually been going on for a while, but in certain sectors, like I forget, there's some northern sector of Yellowstone, the ground has risen like 5 inches in the past year, and there's some weird activity that's going on there. Now, with that weird activity going on, and it's directly tied into that, I forget what the fault line is that runs along the Wasatch Front there, but I mean, I don't know. Are we looking at end times? I'm guessing probably not. But it's always fun and entertaining to, think about some of these ideas and to think about the possibilities of the future and to dig into a few conspiracies here and there. Nothing wrong with that, especially for the entertainment value. But when it comes to China and our dealings with China on the world stage, that's something that I don't think that it's not a conspiracy theory, and it's not good economics for us to have put our faith into China like we have. We got Nello Wolf in the chat. Good morning. Good morning to you gentlemen out there. Glad you guys could join. I'm just sitting around drinking some coffee and start doing some small projects that I have planned for the day. Through all of this, there's just so much to talk about right now, and I've been solely focused on all kinds of things that are just helping to better my life lately. Doing a lot of construction projects around the house, and really just once all this shit happened, got to reconfigure, got to regroup. Hope everybody out there though has, got their contingency plans in place, focusing on the real story at hand right now. I know it's easy for a lot of us to, I still see people, still talking about the same stuff right now, as though things are going to go on like everything's normal. And I don't think that it is going to be normal, gentlemen. I think that there's a drastic change that we're stepping into a whole new era. And who knows? I might be completely wrong, so, time will tell. We're just going to have to wait on that. Let's see what else we got. Bayman in the chat also. Welcome. More lies from CCP. CCP chooses ignorance because they want to maintain superpower. Well, fucking, yep. Yeah, they're gonna fight to maintain that power. They always have and always will. I'm sure that whatever the workings, the things happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. We know about quite a bit, but the shit that's actually happening behind the scenes, we're not privy to that information. So it's not surprising if things are far worse, and possibly, I guess, could be better than what they are. It's hard to fucking say. We're kind of kept in the dark about a lot of shit. And as MGTOWs, we understand we've been kept in the dark about a lot of shit most of our lives. Taught a completely fucking false belief in what life was supposed to be. And that's why we found the red pill and realized, oh fuck, this shit is all bullshit. Every time I hear Yellowstone, it reminds me of Sodom and Gomorrah. It's a really beautiful place. I've been there several times. Living outside of Utah, outside of Salt Lake City, Yellowstone's not that far away. So I got to visit there when I was a really young kid. Absolutely beautiful area. There's a lot of really cool stuff to see. But yeah, it's technically an active super volcano just sitting there, just waiting for hundreds of thousands of years to go fucking supernova, I guess. So Bayman says it's only good economics for the corporate elites. The world trade and the trade organizations or the trade deals that we have with other countries. Like I was saying, I can see that I can see it being necessary for, raw materials, stuff like that. But outside of that, we shouldn't be shipping all this stuff back and forth across the oceans. And most of it is, it's for money. Lowen says he's still making his own gas mask. I've got a couple of them already, so that was something that, you just never know. I've worked with enough dangerous chemicals and stuff like that good things to have. I don't have an actual self-contained where it's actually supplying oxygen. So in cases of, I don't know, whatever would be necessary, those would be necessary for, like, I'm fucked in that situation. But I've got some pretty damn good canister masks that, they'll purify out whatever you don't want getting into you. That's for fucking sure. Bayman says, I've been withdrawing cash from the bank and hiding it at home. I don't trust the banking system at the moment. Well, when you have some of our own U.S. senators that have millions of dollars in stocks and they have sold out, and you see what's happening even inside of the news. I mean, after the stock market crashed and the past 2 days, they've been doing everything in their power to stabilize that shit. Somewhere around 20,000 points. And the articles that are being written in order to reassure investors, one of the articles yesterday was about how the stocks had rallied, I don't know, it was like 500 or 600 points or something before the market had opened, the pre-market. And by the end of the day yesterday, it was down another 1,000 points. 951 or something like that. But it's borderline going down to 18,000 points. Now, if this continues, if the market continues to drop and we get back down to around 14,000 points, that's 50% of all gains that we've had since, like, I think the last time we were around 14,000 points was sometime in Obama's era. But the stock market maintained itself around like 10,000 to 14,000 points for a good, I don't know, the 90s, I think the late 90s into the teens of the new millennia. So it stayed there for a good long time. And to see us lose 50% of the gains that were made by the market, that means that there's some serious shit going on. People aren't just, it's definitely panic buying, but there's reasons that people panic. And at what point in time, because I hear a lot of these people saying, don't panic. And it's like, so at what point in time do you panic? And the answer to that is most of the time that people would call to be panicked is when it's too fucking late. And that's why people are panicking right now. They're preparing. That's what everybody is doing. Now, as you were saying about making some, pulling money out of the bank, there's already been reports of people making runs on the bank. A couple of people that pulled out, there was one couple that pulled out $250,000. Several other reports of people pulling out, upwards of $100,000 out of the banks. Now, when people start pulling money out of the banking systems, I think that it's kind of stupid to pull like that type of money out of the bank. It's technically insured by the FDIC. here in America at least. And if the system truly collapses, I'll tell you right now, sure, money might have it might still have a use. People might still try to deal in it, but for the most part, money won't be worth, if the system completely collapses, like, money won't be worth anything. You can have wheelbarrows full of that shit, and I'll tell you right now, you see the guy with, a jug of water or something to eat, all the money in the world isn't going to get that man to trade, trade those basic necessities for money. I mean, fuck, it's hard to say what's going to happen. It really is. And people are definitely, they're panicking. That's why people are buying goddamn toilet paper and making runs on the bank, collapsing the stock market, and things. I mean, the gun stores. People are lining up around the corners just to go and buy firearms. Like, yeah, even then you gotta wait a few days for that. Like, you should have bought some firearms a long time ago. If you're at the point where you're coming up to the end of the world and you're standing in line at the gun store, like, man, you really, dude, you waited too long, man. You fucking waited too long. And trying to find ammunition for certain things right now, or trying to find any ammunition, it's interesting thing to see. I can't believe that it's happening this way, but it is. And when people start arming themselves, thinking that the worst is here, I mean, yeah, people should be thinking that the fucking worst is here. We just watched the stock market fucking completely tank. People are being quarantined. Apparently California, Illinois, and one other state are on complete lockdown. There's military vehicles driving around. At what point in time is martial law declared? And I don't know. I mean, I think that for a lot of people, their priorities, this, as it's always been, most people's priorities. We're talking about the masses here. We're not talking about the true red pill men, the MGTOWs, the MGTOW monks out there. What I would consider, the obviously it's always the fucking, true Scotsman's fallacy, as I brought up before, but the true men of the manosphere that are talking about these types of things and talking about it in good faith and speak from the heart and are genuine about what their message, what their message is. So, like, but for the masses, I think they've always been that way. And in a panic like this, like, yeah, what do people expect? I mean, to control the amount of ignorant people out there, like the unprepared amounts of people, and most of them being inside of the metropolitan areas and inside of these ghettos. Yeah, people are gonna, when they aren't allowed to go to work, they're not making money. They're stuck inside their homes. They start running out of supplies. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, these people there's already been a few cases over in Europe, reported cases of, like, looting and somewhat rioting. There's already been people, I guess, getting stabbed over fucking toilet paper, stuff like this. Like, yeah, it's definitely a serious thing. Now, I'm wondering, is this going to be a case of waves of this disease coming, just goes away, we all socially distance, we start getting back together again after it seems like it's going away, and then bam, it fucking comes back again. then we have to go through this. Are they training us for, just for self-quarantining en masse? Like, is this... I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to say. Like, it's so hard to understand what's going on behind the curtain, like, when you're not a part of it. I'm not personally worried about getting this disease. I'm not really worried about anybody. We've already quarantined up. We're in a pretty safe area. I don't have mass amounts of people stacked up on top of me and shit. And I only maintain friendships with a certain select few people anyway, so I'm not really worried about having to go out. The only places I've had to go is to a couple of stores, and I try to maintain my distance from people. I've done that already for years anyway, so it's not a big thing to me. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all comes out on the end. Like, when things are all completely closed down and we watch this economy completely tank, an economy that's just built on lies and poor ideas and poor trade deals that are dated and need to be revised. Just everything that fucking people are doing in the world, it's ridiculous. It's gotten to a point of idiocracy. I think we've really breached that fucking bound. We're definitely, living in fucking clown world, and it's interesting. I don't know anybody that uses that word, and we've got McHenry Loser in the fucking chat. That's fantastic. Like, dude, I don't know why you choose to use that type of language. Like, I don't know. If I ever met you, dude, I'd beat your fucking ass. I would, especially if I was a black guy. Yeah, guns are a little bit expensive. Most of the guns that I have, they were all hand-me-downs. The only guns that I've ever purchased were my shotgun that I use for pheasant hunting, and my little .45 Derringer, and I bought that one just because it's a very well built piece by Bond Arms, and it's a good little defense gun. Not anything that I take out. I don't feel the need to carry or conceal carry or anything like that. If things get worse, sure, I might actually conceal carry or whatever, but I feel pretty goddamn safe as is. Dude, just yeah, great. That's stupid for you to say. I mean, we all know kind of how stupid you are. Like, it's amazing that you're still around seeking attention for people that don't give a shit about you, dude. If you really think that Richie Romance is the only true MGTOW, that Richie's fucking... Dude, he's gone down a fucking bad path. He's probably gone down a bad path all of his fucking life, and he's continuing on the same habits that he's formed over his lifetime. Like, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares what you think. That's what I'm telling you. That's something you need to understand. This is why I say to so many people, like, can I interest you in the purchase of a mirror? Like, you want to understand the true problem in your life, McHenry Cruiser? Do you want to see the true problems in your life? Dude, all you have to do is just go and look in the mirror, man. You are your own problem. The only problems that you have created in your life are the problems that you created. And it's because of your narcissism. It's because of your sociopathy. Like, you have no true belief. You hold nothing true in your heart or in your mind. You're not a genuine person. You're not here in good faith in any way, shape, or form. You're just saying things just so that you can get a rise or a reaction out of people that nobody cares about. Like, you should get help, man. Like, I don't know what to say to you. You and your little clique of people, like, that's a really fucking sad existence, man. That's a really sad existence, especially when you come into a group of people that are trying to, they're trying to discuss real things here, real things that are affecting society and social interaction, because we can see it and because you just choose to be ignorant to it. No, I totally agree, Lawin. And I know I had just recently, obviously he's saying that because I said, the true MGTOWs out there. And I agree, there is no true MGTOW. It at its base, it's simply a philosophy. It is an absolute philosophy of individual choice. There's nobody that can make you choose a path that you don't want to choose. This is what men going their own. I mean, the acronym itself, it is just like it. People see that acronym and they just it's like it fucking fries their fucking brain. Like they've got some connections. Like people need to say it out. The long form. Men going their own way, like whatever way that is. I don't really care. Sure, I think that there are certain pathways that, as men going our own way, there are certain pathways that are probably a better choice than others. Choosing monk mode, choosing to be a minimalist, focusing on oneself and solace in solitude. Sure, there's certain things that I think they are the better choice. That is the better path. But even if we were to travel in parallel down the same path, that path it's not the same. I can't walk in your shoes, you can't walk in mine. We all understand these types of things. Though our paths may run parallel to each other, they are not the same path, and they never can be. Dude, yeah, sure, the future is female, as we can all see right now with all of the articles that are being written right now. The second the fucking crisis fucking hits, where are all the females? They're out in the stores buying up toilet paper en masse because they're fucking all panic fucking buying, and they're hiding behind their fucking protectors. Who do you think? It's always females most affected, am I right? Yeah, fucking that. You're a fucking idiot. The future is female. It ain't got anything to do with the future is female. Like, this is something that you obviously don't understand about what gynocentrism is. Gynocentrism is something that has evolved into the fabric of humanity over time. Yeah, it's not just the future is female. Females have always been the most privileged and protected class on the face of the fucking planet. That's something we all understand. It's not a matter of them being the fucking future. If anything, the only future is that they'll be fucking, lonely fucking cat ladies. And we can fucking see that shit everywhere, dude. You're not fucking... The only person you're kidding, dude, is yourself. Like, and that's because your life is a fucking joke. laws exist to maintain society, but when laws are abused and not benefit for equals, there is an imbalance of a society. We can see the imbalance. It's because people don't. There are natural laws within the evolution of humanity itself, and unfortunately, biology dictates that natural law naturally. Men and women are not the same. They never will be, they never can be, and they both have certain roles to fulfill in order to have a balance in society. And yes, these fucking infiltrators that come into the community, they try to say that MGTOW is male feminism. Like, God, it's so fucking stupid. Like, no, this is an outright reaction. There's an action and a reaction. And then people will be like, it's because you guys are reactionaries. No, that's not the same thing. There are consequences for actions. And female empowerment created... Let me think this through. I don't want to piss off anybody or step on any toes. But yes, MGTOW is a direct correlation to feminism. Like, the causation is feminism. And it's because men see the imbalance that was created, and we're simply... There are men out there in the men's rights movement that are trying to correct that imbalance and doing a really fucking shitty fucking job at it. And there are those of us, just like hundreds of thousands of men in the past, that have just simply chosen to walk away. Now, a lot of these men, they might have been inventors or scientists, or these men might have been religious in a lot of senses. Most monks and pastors and priests and all that, they had to choose a life of celibacy. That's a life of celibacy. This is something that I think that a lot of people still don't understand the difference between celibacy and abstinence. Celibacy denotes a certain level of religiosity, of religious belief, and a vow to remain celibate. Like, abstinence is a choice. We choose abstinence and to walk away. That is a choice of ours. It amazes me that these people out there, they're like, blah, blah, blah. They always talk about how everybody should have independence and their own choices and this and that. And it's like, yeah, well, that's what's so different for MGTOW. And sure, they'll bring up certain things like, well, you're the type of people that are calling for for women to not have the vote, because they never earned that right. The Supreme Court literally had to make an exception for women, that they didn't have to sign the draft in order to give women the vote. How is that fair? There is nothing fair about that. And when it comes down to the possibility of us facing another a possible actual conflict with China in the coming future, who do you think is going to have to fight that? It sure in the fuck ain't gonna be women, because as with all crisis in the past and every crisis in the future, women will hide. They will go and they will hide and they will cry about how they need protection and they need somebody to go and fight that battle for them, because they know that they can't do it. So anybody that thinks that the future is female, well, that's great. I stand right behind you, bro. Like, you all run on out there, all you women, you guys go and fight all the battles. All of us men did that fucking throughout the past. Go and fucking die on that fucking sword. I implore you, please, try and take over the roles that men have fulfilled throughout fucking history and see fucking how fast you fucking fail. And when society, as it already is, just collapsing, and you think that the future is gonna be female, what a fucking joke. We got Prune Juice Power in the chat. I just ignored detractors and critics of MGTOW. Yeah, I mean, I definitely do too. I'll still chime in and leave a snide fucking comment for most of them. But they're either willfully ignorant or that. And what I see a lot of is a lot of projection, a lot of feelings hiding behind the messages that these detractors and infiltrators try to speak on. And they, like I said, they're either willfully ignorant or they're hiding behind their fucking feels. And they're talking about things that they have fucking no idea about, nor have they ever tried to analyze from different perspectives. They live in that myopic world, that myopic blue-pilled fucking world, and they'll never fucking change. We got Craig Furness in the house also. Greetings, gentlemen. Yeah, well, this fucking crazy shit that's going on, it's, I mean, we're gonna see where it goes, gentlemen, and hopefully things work out for the best. I hope all of you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you got all your supplies together. I hope that, things don't completely fall apart, and I hope that we can pick up the pieces and move forward. But I'm telling you right now, there is going to be lasting effects. And I truly believe that one of those lasting effects is going to be some serious conflict with China. I don't think that we're going to have the same trade arrangements with China moving forward. And that's going to create a lot of other conflict. So even after all of this has passed, there's serious changes moving forward. And I think that our focus needs to somewhat change in some aspects. I understand, we all know about the female nature and just everything that has been discussed. But with things kind of bottoming out, and we'll see how far the fucking bottom goes coming up here real soon, because things happen real fucking fast. The change is coming, and I don't know. Just be like Boy Scouts, gentlemen, and be prepared. That's something that I've lived my life by. Even though I'm almost out of fucking toilet paper. Like I said, the one thing that I just didn't really think about stockpiling or, prepping for was goddamn toilet paper. Everything else in the house, and it's coming down to fucking toilet paper. Like, goddamn it, I could just kick myself in the ass for that one, but it is what it is. There's always alternatives. So... Shit, gentlemen, I just wanted to get on here, have a quick conversation. It's early morning, and I'm just drinking my coffee and waking up, getting ready to do a few projects around the house, do some more preparations for the upcoming bullshit. And I hope you gentlemen are doing the same. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I hope this message finds you gentlemen well, and I think I'm gonna post one of those edited videos. I know in my last live stream I said that I'm just worried about posting them. Like, I don't want to lose my channel. I don't want to open up more fucking channels. I don't want to fucking, like everybody, you can only run fucking for so long before you gotta fucking turn around and stand and fight. I don't want to fucking go to all these other different sites, and I opened a YouTube channel, and I deleted all of my fucking social media, like all the other social media, and I choose to stay here for the simple fact that I don't want to have all that fucking bullshit. Just one channel, here it is. This is me just kind of hanging out and fucking talking to other gentlemen out there that are, you know, concerned about all the same shit that we all know, we all discuss here, and we all recognize are the problems, the sources of the problems in the world. And yeah, shit, what else is there to say? Yeah, I think I'll post one of those videos. Hopefully it doesn't get fucking, I've got BitChute. Yeah, I do have BitChute, and I know that it automatically uploads to BitChute. I've been checking in there every once in a while. But just with everything else going on, guys, shit, man, I've got so much shit on my plate right now. It's insane. I like to get on here and just let everybody know that, you know, I really want to get back to doing live streams. I noticed that that's something that has fallen off. There isn't a lot of live streams going on, or places to gather, and the live streams that I know that there are. I see MGTOW values and stuff like that still doing live streams, but they're always on at times when I can't join in, and I know that I've fallen off on being able to participate in some live chats, and it kind of bums me out. But maybe I'll start doing some more, and just pulling up some articles, and trying to I don't know, provide a place for people to get together and just yeah, do some chat and interact with the actual chat on my streams. I thought I did a pretty good job today about interacting with everybody. Tried to get to everybody's comments. But yeah, like I said, I'll contemplate uploading that video here later. I might just upload it directly to BitChute, and I might save all of my live streams for YouTube and just provide a place to chat. And then when I want to do one of my edited videos, I think I might just start uploading all my edited videos directly to BitChute or an alternative platform that won't, you know, suppress me. I know that my edited videos, I know that fucking, for a lot of reasons, they don't like that shit at all, regardless of whether or not I use, you know, the fair use policy in my descriptions, all that shit. Like, but yeah, that might be the plan going forward, gentlemen. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, as I said before, and I hope this message finds you well. We'll talk again real soon.